ducked off low-key, yeah, you know me. Kickin' with Tyree, hit it 3 like Kyrie.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in to Kickin It With Tyree. I'm here with Dasha Kelly. How are you doing today?
I'm amazing. How about you?
I'm great. First off, I just want to start with Makin Cake. What was the spark of that idea for you?
It was the beginning of a stage show. So I was invited to do some community development in a town called Sheboygan. So there's an art center that said, hey, we've seen you speak, and we're ready for you to help us come in our community to talk about race. Okay. So I've done shows about objects. So I know every object has a backstory. And I also, as a facilitator, find creative ways to get people talking about things that they don't think they can talk about or they don't want to talk about, from race to sex to gender to generations to getting a better distribution plan for your company. Creativity is a gate that gives people to get outside of the habits of conversation and really have real conversations. So with that in my back pocket, it was, all right, I had these experiences, and one of the conversations happened in a bakery. And I said, see, we can do this. Maybe we just need to feed everybody cake. We need to feed everybody cake. We should feed everybody cake. So it started with doing the research and putting together this show, this stage show. And when the pandemic hit, all of the theater world was trying to do these pre-recorded virtual shows. And I thought, well, maybe if I can record the show. And someone said, well, why don't you make a documentary? I'm like, well, I'm not a filmmaker. And my mentor said, well, once you make a film, you will be. Oh. And so here we are.
Once you make a film, you will be. That's great advice, to be honest. And like it bringing you to Sheboygan, a.k.a. the Malibu of the Midwest. I learned that recently. Once it brings you to Sheboygan, how did it get to the point where you're touring with it and you're taking it around the country?
I did the first show on the commission there, and then I tinkered with it a little bit for another year, and then I did this show as part of a Fringe festival here in Milwaukee. And once I got that, when I added media and I created some other elements to the show, did some more research, and it was just, when you get it just there, I thought, oh, I want to do this show everywhere, all the time, forever. And was able to get some bookings at some different universities through the state. And then again, the pandemic hit, so I'm like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? I was just starting to build momentum. And in the middle of the pandemic, I got picked up by a booking agency. And so I'm part of the roster of Seagull Artist Management, and they booked me across the country.
That's beautiful. For you, as you're going across the country, what has surprised you about the people who connected with your story?
I had someone, I was in a town outside of Detroit, and they were asking, well, generally, what are your audiences like? For example, I'm outside of Detroit. Not that Detroit wouldn't want it, but it's the towns outside of major metropolitan areas that can definitely botch this conversation. If there aren't professionals, if there aren't people who are skilled or interested, or there's not an empathy. And one of the things I talk about in my another component of this, the history of us having these discussions, they're reactionary. So they're always in response to, which means it's always trying to put a Band-Aid on, which is really not trying to get at the core of what the conversations are. And in many cases, it's instructive and it's finger pointing. And when you feel you're on the other end of that pointed finger, you're definitely not listening. So all of that as a backdrop, the people that come to the show, many people don't know what to expect. I've had one woman say, I thought you were going to sing. I don't know why we thought that. Because I'm a poet, oh, you didn't do a single poem. It's not. I do other things besides poetry. So partly what they expect in the art form is a surprise. And then when they realize that I'm just laying out naked truths. And even though it's about cake, I don't sugarcoat it. It's not sweet. And at the same time, you can have these conversations and how you package it. So by the time I get to saying whiteness is the high fructose corn syrup of our collective consciousness, I've made you laugh, I've told you stories, and everything I've said up to this moment has been true. And you're able to receive it because I'm also delivering it with a lot of love, with a lot of intention, and with a lot of expectation that we get on the same page. So one of the things that was important to me was realizing these conversations get skewed because we're coming at it with different information, different perspectives, and different reasons for being in the dialogue in the first place.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Being able to, use your art to reach different people and get your message out, especially, like you said, around those outside cities, because a lot of the times, those are the more, I don't want to say red cities, but they neglect, hearing that, and listening, or, like you said, you don't want the pointed finger. You don't want to have to fix something to get the message across. You should be able to get the message across before you have to fix something. And I think that's beautiful what you're doing. And how does it feel to have now your documentary, your official filmmaker? How does it feel to have it come back and premiere at Milwaukee Film Festival?
The first word that comes to my mind is surreal. I've done a lot of projects, I've done a lot of things, and I really had one, you have those firm talks with yourself. It's like, self, sit in this moment. This is not a regular thing that you've done. This is not an easy thing that has happened. Really sit in the marvel of all the things that led to this moment. So I'm grateful to have that experience, to be reminded of wonder, first of all. And then I'm really excited to be able to have it break out at home. We all have these relationships with home, with family, and my relationship with my city has been storied, it has been rich, and home has been really good to me. And this is coming at a really important time in my personal life to be able to celebrate a lot of years of a lot of hard work, not knowing where it's going to end. Am I just going to make this movie? It's going to live on a little private link on YouTube. And I'm going to send it to my cousins and maybe they'll like it. So to know that I'm prepared to cry, I guess I want to say that. I've told myself, self, you're going to weep, because watching it on my laptop is different from seeing it on an actual theater screen. And like you said, putting it together, I'm an official filmmaker. And like Everett said, once you make a film, you're a filmmaker.
Yeah.
So to have that experience here at home at the film festival, I've been attached to the film festival for many years. I've been a fan for many years. I've been a lover of movies since I was a little person. So as a filmmaker, we get 2 passes for the festival. So for my editor lives out of state. So that would have been the automatic second pass. So with that notwithstanding, who should get this second pass? My daddy.
That's beautiful.
Because he is why we watch movies. Our family, anyway, it's a whole nother story for another time. So I'm excited to be able to, and it's in my bag right now to get it. Once we leave here, I'm going to go drop off his filmmaker pass. So he'll be able to come to the festival.
That's beautiful. And you won't have to, send the link. You can have your family come see it. And that's the beauty of it.
With the popcorn.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. And that's the beauty of being a filmmaker as well. It's you spend so much like blood, sweat, and tears into this project, and sometimes no one sees it, but to have it be seen, and that's the joy, to have everyone sitting in this beautiful theater and watching it. That's a joy behind it.
My heart is starting to just pulse with just you saying it like that.
One of my last questions for you is, for people who don't know what Makin Cake is about, how would you describe it in a gist, in a way?
Sure. I've told people that Makin Cake, the show and the documentary now, is an experience more than it is a show. On the stage performance, I'm talking and I'm got media. There are bakers on stage making cakes on live, and then the audience gets cake, and we talk about what they saw, what they heard, and how we're going to be different tomorrow. So there's a lot of intention in the design for it. So it really, it is an experience for certain. But what I do is I explain all of the baked-in isms of this nation that we love by telling the stories of the history of cake.
That's beautiful. As a Milwaukeean, what do you feel when you hear the words Cream City?
Well, because Cream City is about the bricks, I think about foundation. I think about sturdy. I think about unexpected and still gorgeous and unique. And that's what it always brings to me. There's a beauty in this hardness in this city. And Cream City brick, Cream City as the city, and to be part of the Cream City lineup, all of those things.
That's beautiful. That's all I have for you today. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I love this conversation, and I can't wait to see your film on the big screen.
Me too. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you guys for tuning in. Kicking It With Tyree with Dasha Kelly. I hope to see you guys at the Milwaukee Film Festival.
Ducked off low key, yeah, you know me. Kick it with Tyree, hit it 3 like Kyrie.